By 2008, Jamaica had a 54% pass rate in English and a 43% pass rate in mathematics. These were still extremely low percentages. We can afford to do far better. According to the latest productivity report by the Jamaican Productivity Center, over the 35-year period of the report, the labor productivity of the Jamaican worker has declined by 1.3% each year. And unlike Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and St. Lucia have a 1.5% increase in productivity each year. And they have over 2% in the last 10 years. And some analysts agree that the difference can be attributed to the average amount of capital that the workers in the Caribbean region have, and also the differences in the level of education and training that they have attained. CaPRI is presenting the report card to demonstrate its effectiveness as a tool to measure the outcomes of Jamaica's education system. Let me just provide you with some background information on what a report card is. It essentially measures a student's academic performance. So think of a report card as a yardstick that can be used to accurately measure the academic progress and deficiencies of students across schools in Jamaica. So firstly, the report card will provide information. What kind of information? Information that is timely, reliable, and accessible for monitoring key aspects of the education system and planning improvements. Secondly, the report card will promote transparency and accountability. It will provide the empirical base necessary to hold education providers accountable and make information widely available. Thirdly, the report card will strengthen civil society participation in improving education. The public will be aware of the problems and progress within the education system. Having looked at the purpose of the report card, it is important to figure out what the framework for the report card will look like. Jamaica's report card will be modeled after the Partnership for the Educational Revitalization in the Americas report card, otherwise known as PREAL. And this report card is usually 30 pages in length, and it contains simple and clear language, which makes it easy for the general public to understand. And it's usually segmented into different subject or topic areas, such as test scores, enrollments, equity, standards, testing systems, finance, teacher management, teacher training, authority, and accountability. So when you look on the report card, you may see information on enrollment, and that may be lettered B. And this may be because although enrollment is increasing at the primary level, it's still relatively low at the secondary level. Another subject on the report card may be equity, and that may say D, because traditional schools are outperforming non-traditional schools. And this may be because traditional schools have access to better educational resources. Given the fact that data for Jamaica's report card will be extensive, it will have to be collected from a variety of sources, such as the National Education Inspectorate, the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, the Caribbean Secondary Examination Council, the Ministry of Education, the regional educational authorities, and the Jamaica School Administration Software. After examining international best practices such as the PREAL report card, CaPRI believed that it was absolutely necessary to conduct interviews to better inform us of the content and design for the report card. So let me just tell you a little bit more about the methodology. CaPRI conducted interviews with over 50 stakeholders who represented government officials, private sector professionals, principals, teachers, parents, and students in order to get their feedback. The stakeholders had a lot to say about the education system. Here's what they had to say. They said that the education that students receive needs to be relevant. What do they mean by the term relevant? In other words, by the time a student graduates from high school, he or she should be literate, numerate, analytical, technologically savvy, well-rounded, and adequately prepared for the workforce. The stakeholders were also hopeful about the Ministry of Education's intention to foster an environment of accountability. They believe that the National Education Inspectorate and the Jamaican Teaching Council are promising policy initiatives that will actually add value to Jamaica's system. They also pointed out that the principals should have more autonomy in hiring and firing teachers. So therefore, they advocate the decentralization of the education system. Stakeholders also stated that there should be a measurement of parent and community involvement in the lives of students in order to assess the effect that the parents and the community are having on a student's performance. Other key findings were the need for the implementation of a tracking system upon entry at the primary level to completion at the secondary level. And this tracking mechanism would collect information on numerous variables, such as a parent's level of income, a parent's level of education, neighborhood safety, student involvement in co-curricular activities, and school infrastructure. Stakeholders supported a 1:25 teacher-pupil ratio because currently teachers find it difficult to devote sufficient time and attention to a classroom that contains 40 to 50 students. So CaPRI took into account what stakeholders want and PREL's framework for their report card, as we explored the options for types of report cards and which one would best suit Jamaica's framework.